Greetings, beloved. I am Rock Newman, and you are about to participate in another wellness show featuring the Minister of Wellness, Nathaniel Jordan. Um, First of all, this is, as I said, Rock Newman Show 2.0. And next Saturday, right at this time here, actually a little before, Nathaniel Jordan will be hitting the podium at approximately 11:45, Nate, in Washington, D.C. at Union Temple Baptist Church
Yes, sir.
for the free health fair that we're having. This is something that Nathaniel has been planning for. I've participated, but in no uncertain terms. He has done the research, he has done the work. We booked Union Temple Baptist Church in Washington, D.C. 4 months ago to make sure that we had plenty time to prepare for this urgent all natural health fair and seminar titled Disease Free in 23. I will reiterate that it was shortly after our March 18 event at the same place, Union Temple Baptist Church in Washington, D.C., that Nathaniel Jordan started to get very concerned with the signs, the signals, the research that he was doing. And frankly speaking, I'm going to tell you that I thought he was being an alarmist. I'm not going to go as far as to say I thought he was being a conspiratorialist, but I did think he was being an alarmist. We were feeling a sense of freedom, a sense of liberation coming out of a pandemic. And Nate was talking about the absolute need to get prepared for another one that he was speculating that was going to happen somewhere late in the year of 23, somewhere around mid-October, sometime for sure before Thanksgiving. So I signed on to help and to host and to try to do what we can to promote this event. It is going to be a really comprehensive day of all natural health and healing, where there are going to be practitioners from throughout the Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia area that are coming out in support of this to being able to give you for free a variety of tests, exams, to really try to start to detect what might be your vulnerabilities, whether it is diabetes, whether it is prostate, whether it is high blood pressure. You're going to have an opportunity to come forth to get all of that testing. uh, Dr. Ruby Latham is going to be the chef for the day, and she has gained quite a reputation as being one of the very best dietitians and chefs in the DMV area. So you're going to have, plenty to eat and drink, all healthy and plant based. Um, um, Pastor Anika Wilson from Union Temple Baptist Church, who has gone on her own personal health journey, and many members from the church will be in attendance. Pastor Anika Wilson will be bringing us some greetings from Union Temple Baptist Church. So I don't want to be too windy in this introduction because the very name of today's show is the Black Holocaust. And that is not a word that I've heard the Minister of Wellness throw around recklessly. What I want to do, though, is I want to confront it and ask Nate, why are you calling this the Black Holocaust? What does this mean on this day, 1 week before September the 16th, when we're going to meet with a packed house in Washington, D.C. at Union Temple Baptist Church?
Well, thank you, Brother Rock, for having me on, and greetings to everyone tuning in. We, first of all, of course, thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Brother James Wade. Yes, I received everything. Everything is set. So thank you, my brother. Just wanted to mention that real quick. Brothers and sisters, there are 3 things that you can do. You can hit the like button, whether you're watching this now or after the fact. That helps this to spread throughout the algorithm. We need this to go viral. We also need you to share this video with as many of your family, friends, and loved ones as possible. This is our 12th and final podcast leading up to the Black Health Revolution. 12 podcasts that we have done to try to issue, to do our best. And there's nothing more that we can do on our end as far as utilizing our platforms. Brother Rock, thank you, because this is our 12th one. There's nothing more we can do. I mean, to do 12 1-hour podcasts dedicated to trying to warn our people about what's coming leading up to September the 16th. We've done all that we could. So the reason why I've called it the Black Holocaust, I think, Brother Rock, that it's good in this too, as we head towards next Saturday, which will be the next time that you all see us. We'll be live in the flesh. And as I stated on Dr. Wilma Leon, who I thank for letting me come on, it will not be live streamed. We want to remind you all, it will not be live streamed. You need to be there in person. The ministerofwellness.com health seminars, the ministerofwellness.com health seminars. But yes, this is the Black Holocaust. When you're talking about the intentional destruction of our people, when you look at the sheer numbers, it is indisputable what we die from. What we die from is food poisoning. Poisoning of the body through fake food. That's what we're dying from. So the question is, if the number one thing that kills Black people outside of once we make it past the womb, that's another topic. Once we make it out of the womb, the number one thing that kills living Black people post-birth is food, is nutrition, is diet, is what we drink. This should be the number one focus, but it's not. It's not the number one focus. I have listened to hours and hours of seminars, even seminars titled The Black Holocaust, held at Howard University with prestigious leaders and activists from all around the world for our people. And I have listened to 4 5-hour lectures with some of the greatest orators of our time, and they would go 4 5 hours with not a second dedicated to the leading cause of death in Black people. And that's why I call it's a Holocaust. And not only is it a Holocaust, it's a Holocaust that we're afraid to talk about. It's a Holocaust that we don't, that for whatever reason has been systematically ignored. And that's always a question that I have, that I always like to pick your brain about, Brother Rock, because you're the elder, you're the 70 years old, you're the Renaissance man. You have accomplished things in your life that I hope to be able to accomplish. You've met Nelson Mandela, you've met the Pope, you've traveled the globe, you've done a lot of things, and you are an activist, and you've been an activist before I was here. So I always like to hear from you about how is it possible that what kills Black people more than anything is like the 50th thing on the totem pole whenever Black activists and Black leaders come together to discuss the issue of white supremacy, the issue of racism, the issue of how to improve the condition of Black people. How do you just completely ignore what we're suffering from the most? Even our Black leaders and our community activists, they all end up dying from food. So I'm always curious to hear your response to that. As the elder,
you know, Nate, I'll take a stab. You know, as a very proud graduate of Howard University, we call it the Mecca. I've identified it and called it and claimed that it's the greatest institution of higher learning in the history of the world. I said it and I stand by it. With that being said, all the great legal minds, starting with Thurgood Marshall, who was mentored by Brother Houston, all the great medical minds, all the great political scientists, all the great people in the arts. I came through Howard as a student, as a baseball player, full scholarship. After 3 years of leaving, came back and finished my degree and worked there for 5 years, and have been actively a profound lover of the university since that time till this time. I served on the board of trustees at Howard University, the same board that Frederick Douglass served on. It was one of my great moments of pride. I served a full term there. And I'm going to respond this way to say, I was not cognizant, I was not conscious, I was not educated as I've been educated by you about what impact the SAD diet, the standard American diet, has had on specifically Black people. The whole country is fat and sick.
Right.
But especially, you know how it says, man, if it rains, if it rains in America, there is a hurricane in the Black community. So we are most impacted by this Holocaust that you're that you speak of. And so talking about Howard University, being an activist, aside from a limited few, I have to think back to the many, many years of very, very close friendship that I had with Dick Gregory, who, you know, went on various fasts and had a lot to say about how we were mistreating and killing ourselves through the diet.
Yeah.
But you know, I look back again at leaders like Maynard Jackson, who died, and I remember Jesse Jackson talking about when Maynard Jackson died. I remember a speech by Jesse, and he talked about there's no reason that he should have died at the young age. I think Maynard died when he was in his, I think maybe like in his 50s. I can't imagine he was more than 60. And he was one of the great leaders. And you know, it was thought that Maynard Jackson and Marion Barry were two of the great leaders, two of the great mayors in the city. And I think about Marion Barry, who's from Mississippi, and the kind of diet that he consumed. Now, Marion's greatness as a leader and as a politician is profound, but he also had other frailties. And I'm as convinced that his diet was as harmful to him as was his addiction to drugs and alcohol. And we see live and up close our brothers and sisters dropping off, and for some reason it doesn't connect. Now, I say for some reason, I know what part of it is. Part of it is the incessant avalanche of advertising and promotion of garbage that we consume, whether that is Cheetos, whether that is French fries, whether that is potato chips and cupcakes and the soft drinks, which are so heavily laden in with sugar, all of which I have succumbed to, all of which I personally have succumbed to. I'm not pointing my finger. And yet, it has not been the message that is so desperately needed. It hasn't been embraced by our people. I just simply agree with you. I think there are a myriad of reasons, but somewhere there is a disconnect in terms of what the people need to hear and what leaders are conscious of and conscious about. And so, here comes Nathaniel Jordan, the minister of wellness, speaking a language and giving a message, serving a message that is so desperate. Just last night, within these last 24 hours, I posted on Facebook, I just put the word Morocco with teardrops beside it because I feel so badly. 1,000 people we know are already found dead, and it's expected that there's going to be another 1,000 or so. So my heart bleeds for our brothers and sisters in Morocco. We are alarmed. It gets a lot of news. Yet, this Black Holocaust that you're talking about is just as real as that devastating earthquake that happened less than 24 hours ago in Morocco, but it's not on the news. Now, you want me to continue with a little bit of an analysis? A large part why it's not on the news is because these multinational corporations who now own media are selling hot dogs. Yeah. They're selling McDonald's. They're selling ham sandwiches. They're selling the very things that are killing us. And so I understand why. I don't agree with why. I think it's diabolical. I think there needs to be a concerted effort from the government and from our leaders about exposing our community, exposing people about every damn day about the dangers of continuing with the habits that we've gained. And I don't hear it. And so I am telling you, I am extraordinarily thankful for what you are doing. It's a very, very tough message. You know that. But I applaud you because I think you're taking a leadership role. You're blazing your own trail in a leadership role that is so utterly and desperately needed. Until if you have the ability to be able to keep on this path, I'll tell you, man, I don't want to be about any hyperbole here, But these people that are on this mural that you just put up, and that mural is at Union Temple Baptist Church, we don't have any doubt about their love for our people.
Yes.
And they have every right to be up there for the sacrifices they made, the communication they shared, the things they did to liberate our people.
Yes.
Right now, you're standing behind the podium. I can envision that you keeping this path and putting a dent and getting others to follow you. Brother, I could see you not just standing there at the podium, but on that mural, because if we're going to deal with it objectively, the message that you are delivering is absolutely as important as anyone who is up there. So I don't want to spend too much time, on the deification of Nathaniel Jordan, but I know that you're doing the work that is so needed and so necessary.
Well, I appreciate it, Brother Rock, and that is my goal, is that even if it's not me, which it is ironic how I'm placed right there in the middle, but it is. My goal is that there should be a holistic health leader who advocated and dedicated his whole life, even putting his life in danger, to deliver the message about the real Black Holocaust. Our very first podcast that we did was the #1 killer of millions of Black people. Again, it's the destruction of the Black heart by food is not talked about. This in and of itself is a type of Holocaust where every single day, hundreds and hundreds of Black people are dying from heart-related disease that comes from this junk food that, as you say, me or you are not immune from. We're a part of this battle. We're a part of this struggle. And I'm the minister of wellness. And so if even I am a part of the struggle to overcome the barrage of can't even drive 5 minutes without something tempting me to participate in a food orgy, because that's all this is. Then the person that doesn't even have my knowledge doesn't stand a chance, and they know this and they don't care. And this nation is a train wreck. 20%, what I talked about on Dr. Wilma Leon, we have only 20%, Brother Rock, of all youth are able to even sign up for the military. Only that's how much this nation is self-destructing. It's scary.
Now, you know what? I saw something with that statistic, but was that because a lack of physical fitness?
Yes, sir. It was mostly coming from obesity and mental illness and drug addiction. Yeah, mostly coming from the #1 leading cause was obesity. Our youth are so fat, so mentally ill, drug addicted to these opioid drugs from painkillers, and then the criminal injustice system. That means that they're saying that the military is saying that they are facing a recruiting crisis. And so what Dr. Wilma Leon was saying is that you idiots, you want to go pick a fight with everybody in the world, but yet you're self-destructing and you're not even giving yourself the ability to maintain your imperialism, which of course we care nothing about. But that shows you the train wreck of America. You want to be great and you want to stick your nose in everybody else's business. You think you would at least take 10 to your ability to maintain your empire. But you such a mess right now. You're such a train wreck that you're destroying, you're self-sabotaging yourself. Because if you want to be a bully, you would think that you would at least not poison your own people. You're not even able to supply yourself, to arm yourself with the ability to be a bully. How stupid is that?
I keep hearing, and I don't have the statistics at hand, but I keep hearing about, different food products, and the food products that the Food and Drug Administration in America allows to come into the supermarket and allows to be on the shelves to continue to harm our health, to harm our people. It was like, oh, that's much different in Europe. Oh, that's just much different in other parts of the world. They would never allow their people. They don't approve some of this garbage and some of the ways of slaughter of some of the animals and what gets put into schools. And when you just think about the fundamental aspect of, let's just start, I won't say kindergarten, but I don't know about kindergarten, but I know about first grade, and the vending machines that are in schools and the things that are served at lunch, which start on young people just so early in their lives, that when they start consuming these things, that when they start consuming these cereals, you know, Nate, I'm gonna do an exercise here, and I hope some of my family might be tuning in. Talk to us about sort of a standard American breakfast, and I'm gonna do it like this, like it might be days during the week. Stuff that I used to love. I was given now. I'll tell you something. I grew up in the country. We grew a lot of our own food, and livestock. But I was not immune to seeing those commercials on television and like, Mom, can we get this kind of sugar bear? It was called, I think it was called Sugar Bear, and the crack, snap, crackle, and pop stuff. That was, so good. Tasting with whole milk. If you would just, let's walk through something for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about any, call it what you will, let alone, and later on I grew to love sugar frosted flakes. So let's just say we're sitting there and somebody gets up in the morning and say, oh man, I want to have a bowl of cold cereal. So it's sugar frosted flakes and it's whole milk. Break that down for us. I wanted to get to this bacon and eggs, which we've learned to love, and that's one of the staples. Just break down a bowl of cold cereal.
Yes, it's nothing but sugar. And I'm gonna pull up an image here of cold cereal. And there's entire books that have been written about the cereal industry alone, how they have really done a diabolical job in manipulating the masses into believing this trash is healthy. I'll never forget reading about the original Kellogg. The original Kellogg, he was a Seventh-day Adventist, and he was the founder of cornflakes. But his brother, who was the business brain, took his cornflakes, added sugar, and created Frosted Flakes. And it destroyed their relationship until they both lived to their 90s and they mended their relationship. But however, the original Kellogg, and I forget his first name, he is very symbolic. So he's the one that sparked this cold cereal madness. It was him and his brother. And the original Kellogg, again, now in his mind, Brother Rock, in his white man European mentality, he thought he was doing a good thing by creating a convenient way for people to have a breakfast that he considered healthy. But it speaks to the warped mentality of the European mindset that is always warring against nature. Because I understand, yes, I understand that the original cornflakes that he created was not as deadly and destructive as what his satanic brother did in taking his invention and adding sugar, because he was just about money. But even the original cornflakes is nothing but burnt wheat.
Yeah, and we used to sprinkle a lot of sugar on the cornflakes before it became sugar frosted flakes.
Right. So it's like, why did you? It's like European. It's like Mr. Kellogg. Why did you have to manipulate nature at all and create cornflake? What was wrong with just a hot bowl of natural oatmeal if you're going to go that route? That's the European for you. They always have to play God. They always have to play God. Leave nature alone. If you want cereal, then just do the oatmeal. But then we know our people take the oatmeal. Now that brings back my memories of my father when he would do the oatmeal and he would load it with brown sugar, load it with margarine, load it with sugar. And so my whole thing is, obviously, as human beings, we want something sweet. That's why God created fruit. So the best breakfast you can have, you want something sweet. You want something convenient. That's what fruit is for. But we've been brainwashed into believing that fruit can't be a meal. And so it started with the white man trying to play God, creating cornflakes, and then an even eviler white man took the cornflakes, added the sugar, created frosted flakes, and now here we have all of this garbage. This is nothing but burnt carbohydrates. There's nothing natural.
I'm looking at this photo you have up here and looking at Fruit Loops and seeing people, my Facebook friends. I got Facebook friends and friends in real from the lowest life to the highest life. But then they put on, you do the question, what's your favorite cereal? Oh man, there is a response, man. Oh, you got to give me some Fruit Loops early in the morning or late at night, and on and sugar frosted.
We used to fight over it.
And
yeah, we used to fight over who gonna get the last bowl, the last bit. I mean, whole fights get broken out in households over who gonna get the last of the Fruit Loops or the Cocoa Krispies. Yeah.
And folks, we're having this conversation, and look, both of us are saying and clearly acknowledging this is not some pious, holier than thou condemnation of what you're consuming or the decisions that you're making. But at least what we want to try to do is to enlighten you. As I try to enlighten myself, I've been overweight most of my life, continue to be now. I want to tell you, I wanted to assassinate Nate yesterday for that workout he put me. he put me through. I came home, man. I'm telling you, boy, I was like, Didi, I need an Epsom salt bath. Can you help me out? I was Palmer, man. I was walking in here like I was 400 years old, but I'm trying. And part of and what else I'm trying to do is to be a voice that tries to enlighten and tries to help you to at least start thinking about this. It starts a change and a growth starts with a thought. And if we're trying to plant that seed for you, at the risk of repeating myself, I see some of the most absolutely adorable pictures of my nieces, great nieces and nephews. And I know that my nieces and great nieces love their offspring. They love them like I knew my mother loved me, but it didn't stop her from, when I didn't have cereal for breakfast, loading me up with bacon or ham and potatoes. And I learned to like mayonnaise on my potato and ketchup and sop it all up. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And so look, we identify. I certainly identify. So it truly is not a condemnation. Our reason for doing this is a realization of how bad so much of what we consume and
Yeah.
so much of what is thrown at you to go and do and to spend your money. And it forces you, it causes you to make decisions to go to McDonald's. Nate has another name for McDonald's. And what's that, Nate? What's that name you got from McDonald's?
Oh, I got a lot. McDookies, McBoo-Boos, McDevils, McBurp.
Yeah. Yeah. So we at least, if you get pissed off with us, we at least want to say, okay, we tried to be a voice. And if every time we do this, we can pick up one person, I certainly have appreciated some of the comments that have come forth, talking about some of the changes that have been made. And if you all, Nate, give them your website again, because, I feel more importantly than us sitting here doing what we're doing, at least as importantly, is for some people who have heeded the call, who have listened, and how they changed and turned their health around. The testimonies, you get it at www.theministerofwellness.com. Go there and check out, look, if you think we hyping or you think we're doing anything other than what we're really doing, and that's trying to ring the alarm bell, just go there and see some real people, what kind of impact Nathaniel Jordan's, the Minister of Wellness, message has had for people in our community. Some people who have the testimony, who will be attending, coming across country on next Saturday, the 16th. Come on out. You'll be able to speak to them. You'll be able to. I won't be anywhere around that person or people. Nate won't be. We're doing other things. Talk to them. Just hear their voice.
Yes.
Look at them. Let them show you pictures of when they couldn't get out of a wheelchair, and how now, they're doing the two-step. and I just think that, I love what is happening. I love what is happening. And I love that we have been embraced, and our media partner is Urban One. And I take my hat off to Kathy Hughes, who's the founder and chairman of the board of Urban One, who have taken upon themselves to be our media partner and are spreading the word. And that's why, frankly speaking, I'm going to encourage everybody to come out and come out early. There'll be vendors there. There'll be vending various items I think that you will like. It's an all natural health fair and seminar. And
the weather's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful weather. The weather is looking beautiful. 80 degrees, and it's just no excuses. I'm very excited about this. And I'm encouraging everybody, Brother Rock, that before the lockdowns come, I'm really encouraging people, and I'm glad you brought that up. Don't just come out for us too. Please come out and leave with connections. Leave with connections. And there was when I did our earlier Bible study this day, and there was a scripture on wives, and I was telling people, Brother Rock, I was like, hey, you never know, you might come out and meet somebody. So for those of you who are single, because we know how hard it is to connect, so come out, brothers and sisters, and come out and look your best, dress your best, and make some connections. That's what we pray, that this gathering, that would be beautiful, Brother Rock, if in the future somebody say, hey, I came out and I found my future spouse, and we got on the health journey together because we met at, the Minister of Wellness and Rock Newman Show 2.0. So I'm really wanting people to come out and connect with each other.
Yes. And some of the testing that's being done by some of the doctors, the clinicians, they're coming with their information about, not just that day, how you can follow up with them And again, it's all free. We're trying to provide something for you that is pretty comprehensive. It's to cover all mental health,
Yes.
cancer, diabetes, prostate problems, breast issues. Man, so, gentlemen, erectile dysfunction. Hey, there is going to be something at this all natural health fair and seminar for everyone. And you're going to hear Nathaniel Jordan take to the podium, take to the microphone, and share with you his unvarnished research. Some of it is provocative or thought to be provocative. That what would be ideal? It would be ideal for us to be able to talk about all right here, talk about it, debate it, whatever. But it can't be done. It can't be done on the air, because even those of us who have these kind of shows, have these kind of podcasts, we're still limited by censorship.
Yes.
And so, in order to be able to continue to bring this message, we've got to play by those. We got to play by those rules until there's another way. But there ain't no censors.
No.
On September the 16th.
Yes, sir.
At Union Temple Baptist Church. So you're going to get Nathaniel's deep research, what he feels is the truth. And the thing that we've done, the thing that Nathaniel has done, and I actually have done it specifically with the couple of physicians, quote unquote, health care individuals, is to say, hey, if you think that his teachings are not on point, hey, I invite you to come on and let's have a discussion. And not one, very confident behaving, sounding individual in the medical profession has accepted that invitation. And if any of you are listening, I invite you to come on this show. I will be the moderator. I absolutely would be the moderator and have discussions on these issues that to seek another opinion, a difference of approach, whatever it might be. Nathaniel has said very matter-of-factly, in a very matter-of-fact manner, that he would enjoy that.
Absolutely.
Given what his research has been. So again, it's up here, September the 16th. The doors open for you at 10 a.m. and it is going to be a fast. Open up at 10 a.m. You're able to come in. You're able to do all of your vending. You're able to go down and get food, lunch from Ruby Lathan. Very, very tasty food.
Yes.
And then, man, shortly after 11:30, we'd like for you to be in the seats. 11:45 or so, there's going to be a few words, and shortly after that, Nathaniel Jordan will hit the podium, and I want all of you to be there and see and witness every word. And I'll be walking amongst. One of my great joys and claims to fame, if you will, and I don't claim fame, but is walking amongst the people, and I'd like to meet all of you.
Yes. And so I think I don't, unless you wanted me to continue on, I think that's a good place, to end. This is our 12th and final one. We did a lot, brother, right? We put out 12 podcasts where we went in, and I encourage everyone to watch all of them. We did just very quickly, the weaponization of Christianity, because this is a big problem where the Bible has been used as a form of genocide against our people, especially the white Christian version that we were taught in slavery. Me and Rock Newman is in absolute agreement on that, how the Christianity has definitely been used to destroy the health of our people. And of course, part of my passion is driven through the murder of my father through Christianity, the late great pastor Eddie Jordan Jr., who boldly used to eat ham sandwiches in Jesus' name and end up dying after 9 strokes at age 66 on a feeding tube. So, of course, this topic is very, very, very dear to my heart. Then we went over the war on melanin. This one had 60,000 views. The war on melanin, in my opinion, every single podcast we covered is all a part of the Black Holocaust, and they all should have been equally viewed by our people. But again, we know we're preaching a hard message. Then we talked about how soul food is deadlier than crack. But, you know, that's just something we don't want to hear. But it's the truth. It's the truth. Then we talked about the Black obesity epidemic, how they know the food creates obesity. And at the height of COVID, they said, Brother Rock, that 80% of the deaths from COVID in New York City were from the obese. Yeah. But yet in the hospitals, they serve you food that causes obesity.
If I'm saying this right, that was a high level obesity up there with diabetes. And oftentimes they had both, and, you know, just died, just died horrible deaths without being able to be around family and friends. And folks, we want to help avoid that. Come see us September the 16th, Union Temple Baptist Church, Washington, D.C. Nate, I think that's it, man. We've done what we could, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, like you said, like this broadcast, share the video, and we would absolutely love to see you in Washington, D.C. next Saturday.
And real quick, I say to, you know, make sure for all the prayer warriors, for those of you who believe in prayer, believe, Brother Rock Newman, that you're hitting the road early tomorrow. So we pray God's protections and wings to cover you with his wings of protection for safe travels, and then pray for my safe travels and trip. And we do it for all of you all who are traveling. We pray from our whole heart that you have safe travels and that you make it there. The next time you'll see us is live in the flesh.
Go in peace. Let us all have a healthier mindset so that we can have a healthier body and enjoy a healthier life as we age. Take care. See you the next time.
God bless you all.